What's up, YouTube? Um, this is Targeted Patton. I came across um, yet another person who is coming out of their comfort zone and giving their testimony because they understand how important it is to get the truth out there, so that people who aren't going through this, who aren't being targeted, can hopefully gain the knowledge and awareness of the tactics and the things that these people are doing, the blatant civil rights violations and the crimes against humanity that are taking place all over the world right now. If that way they can, I mean, knowledge is the key here. Awareness is the key. That is what is going to deter this from happening to you, or it's gonna equip you with the tools and the weapons that you need to combat it if and when you do become targeted. But like I said, this is just yet another one. Anybody can do this. You can go online and you can just do a little bit of research, and it does not take long before you realize beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is not a conspiracy theory. This is absolutely going on. And this is not a mental disorder. This is not a mental illness. Everybody who is sharing their experiences, they have nothing to gain by doing so. They have everything to lose by doing so. So it's important that people hear this. The more people hear it, the more it contributes to the general public's knowledge that this takes place. And by doing so, will serve as a deterrent from them doing this. If the general public, if tomorrow everybody woke up and everybody just knew that this was a thing, and that it's being done to people, and who's doing it, or I don't want to say who's doing it, because there is no chief, there is no person at the head, at the top, that's calling the shots. This is so compartmentalized, and so much on a need to know basis, that there is no control. Nobody has control of it, and it's been unleashed on the world population, not just the American population. It's been unleashed on freedom as a whole. Your right to be protected in your personal privacy and your personal property. Unreasonable search and seizure. There's several different constitutional violations here with this technology and what they're doing, that it's absolutely unconstitutional and illegal. So again, I don't know this woman. This is Jackie, I think. I'm just sharing her story to try to spread awareness myself, and to hopefully help somebody who maybe doesn't believe what targeted individuals are saying, or somebody who's a little too skeptical and wants to live in a fairy tale where everybody's crazy, and this couldn't really happen, and there's no way that anybody's actually doing this, and these people all must be just mentally ill. Somebody who's currently thinks that, you are vulnerable. You are, unfortunately, you're susceptible to this because you don't believe it can happen, or because you are an unknowing, controlled opposition. So every time you laugh about it, or you ridicule the people talking about it, or you try to spread your opinion that it's not happening, that these people are crazy and it's not happening. Every time you do that, you realize you're part of the problem. You're helping them to accomplish this, to suppress people and to snuff out or discredit the reputation and the testimonies of all of these people that are claiming the same exact thing. Now it's tailored to the individual, so there are several different variations of the targeting, but it all follows the same guideline, the same script. You can tell if you're experiencing it. You can absolutely tell, and you know what I'm talking about when I say it's all part of the same script. It literally seems like this is straight out of a handbook. People that could be halfway around the world who are totally different types of people, living totally different lifestyles, can be targeted on such a specific level that you can't deny that there's something to this. Now, do we have all the answers? Hell no. We barely began to scratch the surface as far as determining, concluding who's doing it or what they're using to do it and all that. There is lots of evidence out there to basically explain who's doing it, what they're using, why they're doing it. But again, that's all. It's all just somebody's testimony, somebody's hearsay. You're not going to find anything on this to prove it because the proof doesn't exist. How can you prove somebody's intent? How can you prove what somebody in their own mind is intending on doing to somebody else? It's not like this is on paper. You think they're going to mess up and just put this right down on paper to implicate themselves as criminals? I mean, come on. Don't be a fucking idiot. You can't fix stupid, but I just put myself in the shoes of the stalkers and think, if I was going to participate in gang stalking or participate in a program like this that violates, freedom and your sovereignty and violates your privacy and the whole 9 yards, I certainly would make sure, I would go out of my way to make sure that there is nothing on paper that somebody could use to prove it. This has all been organized through, barroom conversations and through plausible deniability is the key name of the game here. So as long as they operate under plausible deniability, they're not gonna give proof that there are a very large and very organized group of people with the collective intentions of causing misfortune or causing negative results, negative consequences in another person's life for no good reason, for no justified reason. They're not gonna do that. So the people like Nerve Gorilla who come on here and try to say, oh, it's not happening, prove it, it's not happening, prove it. I mean, it's obvious to me. I can't be the only one. It's obvious to me that they are obviously knowingly spreading the disinformation. So they must actually be on a higher level privy to some information, and it must be their job to come on the internet and discredit targets and discredit the subject of gang stalking. No matter what you show them or prove to them, they're going to just turn it right around and say, oh, use plausible deniability and say, well, that could be this or that could be this. That's just normal behavior. Gang stalking isn't happening. And they just gaslight the definition. They gaslight you with a separate definition so that you end up becoming indoctrinated into the idea that targeted individuals are all crazy. Targeted individuals are all liars. They have no credibility, especially with the script that they follow. They make sure that the target is what? Homeless. They try to get them tied up with legal issues, right? They try to brand them as a dangerous person. They smear their name and make up lies about the person, about the target, on like a very, very criminal level. Like I heard from several people in my town um, that I was associated with or was some kind of child molester or something, and they would do that for several reasons. One, to piss me off because they know that would definitely be one thing that would really get to me. And two, to make sure that people don't believe anything I say, to make sure people give me dirty looks, to make sure people already have a preconceived notion about me, that I'm some kind of person, when they have no idea. They were just told something. But I had heard it from several people, okay? So it came from somewhere, obviously came from somewhere. I'm not making that up in my head. So again, I'm rambling on here and I digress. The point of this is to spread awareness and help Jacqueline here spread her story, because that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to let other would-be targets know, hey, listen, this is going on. Educate yourself now, like yesterday, on this shit, because that's the only way we're going to eradicate it. If everybody tomorrow woke up and knew that this was a thing and they did this, they wouldn't be able to do it anymore. They would stop doing it because it would not be effective anymore. And I'm sure they're spending quite a lot of taxpayer-funded, programs that are taxpayer-funded programs. I'm sure that they're using, money that's earmarked for this or that in their, however they get the money, they funnel it into these programs so they can add to their army of gangstalkers. All they need to do is just pay people, Everybody has a price, they say, right? So they're using a lot of taxpayer funds to recruit the gangstalkers and to keep them quiet, and just, you can accomplish a lot if you have a blank check and a do whatever I want and get away with it badge. So, and equipped with the handbook or the script of what to do. This is psychological warfare is what this is. This is psychological operations. Look it up. Everything they're doing is spot on, can be described and fall under the umbrella of psychological operations, which is implemented by the military. Now, the U.S. military, to my understanding, considers psychological operations to be the most effective tool in their arsenal of weaponry. So they've weaponized just casual conversations, and they've weaponized the people against the people. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Share her story far and wide. And if you hear this and you don't believe her, you don't believe me, you don't believe what all these people are saying, but you haven't looked it up yet, you haven't looked into it yet, do yourself a favor. Share this story. Tell a few people about this story. I bet I guarantee you that if you tell a few of your close friends or relatives about this, the chances are you're going to get some of them that come back and say, what, yeah, you never heard about this? And they absolutely know that it goes on and believe that it goes on as well. This is just a taboo subject, okay? But deep down, everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows that they're doing this. So what's important is that we have the conversation, we get it out there, so that the people that don't know anything about this do not end up falling victim to it. So, with that being said,
Hi, my name is Jackie. I'm from New York. I'm making this video so that I could spread awareness as much as possible because this happened to me and it's very true. During COVID, I left New York and decided to go to Dallas, Texas, based on COVID mandates. I assumed that Texas or Dallas would be, it seemed as if they weren't closed down like New York. New York is very scary. I have small children. I thought that we could just go away for the summer and it would blow over like most people did in New York. They went on vacation and I was one of those people. So I went to the state. I found an apartment that was considered a luxury apartment on the internet. I went there, I applied for it, submitted all my information pertaining to myself and everything that I have. And upon moving into this apartment, I noticed there were several things that were not okay. Making the story short, very shortly upon arriving in this apartment, I went to the pool with my 2 young boys. And then on the same floor as myself, on the 4th floor, there was a man who was taking his computer and facing it down into the pool and filming me and my 2 small children. Immediately, I mean, I'm from New York, I saw that. I was like, boys, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. And I grabbed my 2 small children. We went back into the apartment and I immediately saw that my door was open. I went in, I noticed, nothing major was taken. I didn't notice any movement because, again, I'm a mom, my kids are small. It was COVID, so when I called 911, I got a please hold in Texas. When you call 911 in Texas, you get please hold, and then no one answers 911. It was quite frightening. There were a couple things that transpired within those 2 to 3 days. By a few days later, I already had filled out reports that same day with management and everyone else. And then basically within a few days later, I got, at nighttime, someone above, below, and the side of me saying, "We have you surrounded. You better hand over all your money, your child support, or your children." I was so frightened that I literally just went on my phone, took my kids, and left. I did try to call 911 again, and it said, "Please hold." I did make a report with the building. I called everybody I could, but within a couple hours, I was out. I took my kids, I left, I came home. Upon arriving home, I then noticed very shortly, after a couple days, I heard
Valvoline Full Synthetics offer 24 times stronger protection against engine-killing contaminants than the industry-leading.
The same people and different people that sounded like they were outside a window. I questioned it, I got a little nervous, and it did not sound normal. It sounded as if they were saying things that were, again, that were to scare me, like gangstalking. They then proceeded to go with categories and questions and say crazy things. They told me that they would ship me out in containers. If I didn't comply, they said things such as the weight of me and my children, crazy things that did not make sense. I went to family and they reassured that everything was fine. Go with categories and questions and say crazy things. They told me that they would ship me out in containers. If I didn't comply, they said things such as the weight of me and my children, crazy things that did not make sense. I went to family and they reassured that everything was fine. Luckily, I have a lot of family, I have a lot of friends, and everybody I spoke to was just like, listen, calm down. It's going to be okay. We'll get to the bottom of this. And it kept on happening, and it sounded like it was outside the window. It sounds like a walkie-talkie, a radio, something like that. So I went onto the internet. I went onto Google, and I did a research. I'm sorry, I have to apologize because I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not comfortable with making this video at all by any means. This is not something that I feel comfortable doing because I am a mother. I have family, and this is very hard, because when you are used to being what you know then and what you know now changes, and it's scary. And you all need to know that there's no reason to be scared, because these people, that's what they want to do. They want to scare the shit out of you. And they hope to God that they can do that to you so that you won't say what you're saying. And they want to do this to people. And I wholeheartedly believe this is for trafficking. And Texas is the hub for this. And they did this in 2020 hard. And they're doing it to people that can't advocate for themselves, or people that can't speak properly or explain what's happening to them. I am a mother. I'm from New York. No, very quickly, within exactly a short span, I knew something wasn't okay. And I reached out to military. I reached out to my family. I have family in every department. I reached out to everyone I could. I spoke to people all over the web. I Googled gangs in Dallas, Texas that say this. And I literally wrote down every word that they said. I literally copied every word that they said, and I put it in Google, and everything came up. And that's how I found this group of people that were going through the same type of stalking. Everybody's going through this in a different way. But it's true. It is happening. They do use cell tower frequencies. They do hacking. They do all these sorts of things that are just, you have to be able to properly explain it. And I can, and I wholeheartedly can. I've researched it so well, but right now is not the time. But please, I need everyone to understand that this stuff, electronic harassment, this whole frequency thing is very real. It's real. Neuroweapons, directed energy weapons, all of it is very, very, very real. And these people, let me tell you, let me see. Categories. Right shortly after I got hit with some sort of thing where I heard outside my window sort of radio frequency where it sounded like they were hitting me with categories. So I would hear something where they would harass me about religion, or something like, look under the mattress if you need a passport. And I was like, what the hell? I'm from New York. Like, what is this? And it just got worse and worse from there. They go through different topics, and they try to harass you with different topics, different categories. They try to just kind of just throw you off with what it is that they're doing. But it's all, I mean, listen, it's almost like it's a textbook thing that they're doing. It's definitely different groups. I mean, when this happened to me, I was alone with 2 small children during COVID. And had this been prior, or had this been any other moment, it would have never happened. So, please note that it doesn't matter what the words that they're saying are when you are getting it and when they are doing it, because it doesn't stop. But it's just focus on the fact that they are stealing your information. They have where your children go to school. They have your numbers, your digits, your life story. Like, that is just what they predicate on, and they hope that they can use that against you. And it's very, very eerie. It is very creepy, but please know that, listen, I'm a mom. I have small children, and this happened to me. I mean, this happened to me, and it's very real, and it's very scary. And just be strong, because I've reached out to everyone. I've spoken to everyone, and the science is there, the information is there, and don't be scared to spread information. Do it for the future, do it for your family, do it for kids, do it for strangers. Not every stranger is bad. just help others, be a good person, and these people they'll get what's coming to them, you know? Hopefully the death penalty, you know what I mean? So thank you for listening, and please share.